This is definitely a tried and true sweet potato pie recipe straight from our grandma's kitchen. You guys, this one is a win-win, foolproof every time. Hey y'all, so today we're going to be making a sweet potato pie. It's long overdue. We have got to get into this recipe, y'all. So we're gonna start by piercing our sweet potatoes with a fork. These have been cleaned thoroughly, washed and scrubbed, just in case. We're not gonna be eating the skin, but you still wanna make sure that it's clean because we're cooking them. What we're gonna do with these sweet potatoes is we're going to bake them in the oven at 375 for about 20 to 30 minutes, just until they get nice and soft and tender. Just poke holes all around the potatoes and be careful not to stab your hand. I have about 4 sweet potatoes here. If you get them from your local grocery store and they're pretty big, you really only need 2, but these ones are kind of small. So I'm gonna use 4. If you find bigger sweet potatoes, you can use about 2. I'm gonna set them on a baking sheet and I'm gonna put them in the oven at 375 for about 20 to 30 minutes. And although I love homemade everything, we are using a pre-made store-bought pie crust just to make your life easier. Go in and prick it with a fork, and then we're going to pre-bake it in the oven at 400 for about 5 to 10 minutes, just so it can get nice and golden brown and hold our sweet potato pie filling. Once your sweet potatoes are fork tender, your fork goes right through it, that's when you know they are done. And we're gonna just peel and flesh them out. You can get this tender sweet potato flesh out with a spoon like so, or you can actually just take the peel off by hand. It is that tender. It's super easy to just peel it off, so that's what I ended up doing. We have our sweet potatoes in the bowl. Now you are going to add all of your other ingredients. We have our eggs here, 2 whole eggs that are room temperature. Yeah, I got a tiny piece of shell here, so I had to get that out real quick. And here we have some cinnamon, some ground ginger, some nutmeg, some salt. Go ahead and dump that in the bowl. Have half a cup of heavy whipping cream. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla, 1 cup of dark brown packed sugar. So brown sugar, make sure that it's packed down because that's gonna make sure that you have enough. And then we're going to use 6 tablespoons of this butter, so almost the entire stick of butter. So all but 2 tablespoons basically. And this is also room temperature, so make sure your butter is room temperature, your eggs are room temperature. It just helps everything incorporate way better. I'm also going to add a couple tablespoons of flour just to help bind everything together. And now you're gonna go ahead and mix this all up. If you have a stand mixer, you can definitely use that as well. If you don't have a hand mixer, you can definitely whisk by hand, or you can even put this mixture into a blender to get it all incorporated and nice and smooth. I like my sweet potato pie to have just a little bit of texture, so it may look chunky, but it actually smooths out beautifully and turns so silky once you bake it up. So once you get the texture that you desire, you're going to pour it into your flash baked pie crust. And just use your spoon to smooth it out, and it should look like so. I'm gonna go ahead and cover the edges of the pie crust loosely with aluminum foil. That way when we bake it, because we have to bake it for about 45 to 50 minutes, we don't want the crust to burn. So we're just gonna loosely tint it with aluminum foil. And then we don't have to worry about that crust burning, but then the pie can cook all the way through. So we're gonna put this in the oven for about 50 minutes at 350 degrees. Once your pie comes out of the oven, let it rest for at least 15 to 20 minutes so that it can cool down and everything settles nicely. To be honest, our family can hardly wait to cut into these things, so we give it about 10 minutes. It should be so smooth that you can cut this bad boy up with a pie cutter, or you can use a butter knife. Look how delicious and creamy this is. I love my sweet potato pie to be nice and fluffy and tender. I don't like that dense, thick pie. That's what this texture is going to give you. It's going to give you super fluffy, super tender. It is absolutely amazing. You guys have to head to razzledazzlelife.com. It is linked in the captions. And be sure to like, save, share this with your friends, and subscribe for some more delicious, amazing recipes, y'all. Enjoy.